Hey, what's good, YouTube? It's your man Ronin, back with another one. And you already know the deal. Use the code Ronin10 and that'll be your passport into the A-game lifestyle. Helps with your vitality, energy, focus, and libido, among other things. And today I just want to give a positive word to my peers out here. Much love to A-game family, A-game Nation, and all my four progressive peers who are out there doing the damn thing. And I'm already going to decide what the title is, but you see it already, and I'm going to explain as to why I came up with this. I grew up, as a Gen X kid, born in 1975, and in those times, I was more worried about cartoons, anime, drawing, had that spice of life. Just as a kid trying to grow up and understand the world as was. And granted, there's been a lot of things that have taken place in my life that have not been easy. And I can really get into that stuff, but it's going to lead into what the topic is today. And for many years, since late 2007 till now, I've seen what this space originally was meant to be. And I was in right side by side with a lot of the space's luminaries, learning the tenets of what was required of the space and the men who inhabited it. Being in the trenches, going back and forth with a lot of black male obstructionists. There are individuals who we didn't know at the time we had, made colorful names for them. Today, Mago is the one that stands out today. But as the lexicon has changed over time, unfortunately, a lot of the progress has not. And in many cases, I look back at what we're supposed to do. A wise man told me we're connected by design. We're supposed to oppose nature. And what I see today is what we all see as men. We see a very chaotic society that demonizes us, that finds the worst ways to describe us, to demean us, to compartmentalize us in a way that we're starting to absorb the toxicity of the indoctrination of our boys, the men, the elders. We start seeing ourselves as depreciating assets. We start seeing other ways out rather than being actual heterosexual men. And through these different iterations for 1.0, 2.0, what have you. And shout out to Sheep Stay Sleep and the Crimson Cure for putting these out, and Red Sings of Blues for inspiring this. As men, you need to understand the reason why I created my channel, at least the philosophy behind it, is because in my life, I see, as men especially, we are the authors of our life. And while there have been some real dark chapters in our life, we might be in the middle of them right now. We have the ultimate power to be the best editors of those chapters. Now, when I look at it, I could be on this platform and many others still pedestalizing the traumas that have helped scar me. But if I remove myself from being a prisoner perspective, a lot of life's fires have helped sculpt me, as with us all. And when it comes to living this life as a man, it's not easy. You start looking for system, order, and structure to make sense of the world, especially when it's set against you. When I look at it, and I'm going to go deep into it when I do the series of Dollar Tree elitism, this whole nonsensical separation between men because of, I won't even say judgment, it's basically crucifying other men with pointed biases. See, as men, as people, especially men, judgment is required. When you have, let's say, for example, when you're, going down the freeway and you're gunning it and you see, you get notifications that there's a speed trap ahead. That's judgment. Because if you dismiss that level of judgment, it can lead to some heavy fines or even worse. When you're talking about your intuition signaling something is wrong, that's judgment. That's letting you know that you got to be watchful. You got to be prepared for your fight or flight instincts to kick in. Regardless of any battlefield, we're talking about not just the civilian theater, military, or out here in the streets, what have you, even on the educational theater. We have to use our sound judgment. Now, with that being said, instead of lionizing these losers who have been allowed time to hurt us, shame us, expose the worst out of us, we should take it upon ourselves to number one, forgive ourselves. That was the hardest part in the chapter I was writing a few years ago by living. We have to remember that we can't save everybody. We have to teach people that if we can save ourselves, we can actually save them by leading by example. The ones who want to move forward. Because it comes to a certain point when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And going in the path that I'm going currently, I know I'm one of many who are looking to be triumphant in this time of uncertainty and chaos. It's not to say that I'm above anybody else, but I'm not going to say that I'm beneath anyone. So, with me waffling out here, shout out to Replicant Fish. My channel was created in seeing that you see the growth, the progress. You might see a little bit of backsliding here and there, but I'm still learning to become a better man in my chapter, my seasons. This is what I'm encouraging to my peers out here. Just because some individuals closest to you, like blood relatives, or relationships or associations like friends, we have to take those lessons, those scars, and remember those are bookmarks of the chapter that we were. We weren't we were so willing to grandfather people to greatness that we were too forgiving about things we should never have. But now that we know, we don't allow ourselves to repeat those mistakes. And number two, you start seeing that as an author, this is going to be the best autobiography you're going to make in your life, which is making use of your time. Every day you live, that's you putting the ink to the paper, and you scripting out what's going on, what you're going to be today. Are you going to be productive? Are you going to be lazy? Are you going to be the walking wounded? Or are you going to be a healer, mainly to yourself? We all have the ability to flesh out the character that is us. Not play a character, but legit flesh out the character that is within us. If we are underwhelming in certain areas, we need to construct that time to rebuild and repair ourselves, redeem our reputation. You've had far too many examples. You've had a Samuel Jackson. You had you have Malcolm X. You've had a legion of other guys who, at one point, were a totally different individual. They didn't recognize who they were going to be later on in life. And with that being said, I don't worry about what strags are doing. I don't worry about people who don't like me. I don't worry about certain people I have offended by proxy. There's only some things that we can control. And what we control, we keep a point on it. Things we can't, we'll keep a note of things. But we're still being the best authors of our book. I always say, well, often, we are the greatest love story that was waiting to be written. We are the miracle that we were waiting for. It's all about self-discovery. It's all about evolution. And as men, we should know peace of mind, respect, credibility, and legacy. Those are 4 levels of property, internally and externally. They're the hardest to gain, but well worth retaining. And my goal, aside with my A-game family and solid affiliates who are pushing forward outside this circular hell we used to call the Manosphere, what we're looking to do is be the curse breakers. But we have to break the curses within ourselves. There are many things that led me to a 4.5-year sabbatical because I knew I was losing control. And I say this out of familiarity with my peers because there's many of us, even now, who are going through a certain level of hell and they're trying to find a way out. Some of us, unfortunately, took an alternative route that you can't come back from. But those who are still here, you have to remember you're still here. That means you have work to do. That means you have things to learn, things to discover, things to reclaim, especially your time. And there will be a lot of tears. There will be a lot of challenges. And there will be individuals who will come back into your life to test your commitment to the mission. Did you learn anything? Or are you doomed to repeat the mistakes? Do you need to replay that lesson again? See, we can say that we're educated, but this is the real school of life. School of hard knocks, so to speak. And before I close out, this is a Facebook post I wrote that's appropriate to what I'm saying here. It says, use your divine light as chemo to rid yourself of human tumors. You know, the kind notorious for spreading unnecessary assumptions, doubts, and rumors. Wasting everyone's time, especially theirs, by using your daily growth as the root of their ill-timed popcorn humor. The ungrateful shadows trailing around you, in part that they choose, in caps, to remain spiritually, morally, financially, socially, creatively neutered. They will shamelessly grow on your ovaries and nuts if you give them permission, all in caps, as you get closer to achieving greatness. #favor ain't fair. Now, to break that down, there are many tumors that we allow to grow upon us. Now, growth isn't always good. There are certain people we keep in our circle because they use our light as a resource to help them grow while they remain in the shadows. Those people are like mushrooms, the poisonous kind. So, as far as like knowing the environment, there are people who eat off of you, financially, spiritually, creatively, all manners. You got to be aware of how you cast your light in a direction. There are certain people you need to shut them off, let them dwell in the darkness on their own. And when it comes to the ones that unnecessarily spreading unnecessary assumptions, doubts, and rumors, those, if you allow them to do so, they will make you hate your passion. They'll make you hate yourself. They'll make you question your existence and doubt your ability, doubt your growth, doubt your path. And those are the people who are looking to have company on the way to hell. Those are people who gave up on themselves and what they should be doing or should be in life. These individuals who are notoriously pocket watching on every level. They want to keep an account of what you got and where you're going when their compass is steadily spinning out of control. That's the thing, is like, we got to have a mission and a purpose, and we got to stick to it. And of course, the closer you get to it, the more attractive the distractions are going to come. That's where that internal resolve and that masculine spine is needed. Not just in there just laying pipe unceasingly. But again, you need a strong spine to literally fuck the shit out of your purpose. Wasting everyone's time, especially theirs, by using your daily growth as the root of their ill-timed popcorn humor. If you cannot trust them with your vision by a little bit, if you can't trust them with ideas, if you can't trust them to breathe life into you, these are the individuals that will always hang off of you like barnacles or an anchor, weighing you down with all that disrespect to where you're going. If they shame you for trying to grow, these are the people you have to disassociate yourself from, especially if they're within an intimate space, as far as like blood relation or friends or even people you lay with. As far as the shadows, these are the most ungrateful sons of bitches on earth. Your growth will make people uncomfortable. Many of us can attest to it. I can tell you for certain, I've seen it in real time. It makes people feel some kind of way because it lets them know how much time they're wasting. And they'll find justifications to not only explain their procrastination, but because they feel kind of shame, they'll try to pull you down and even destroy you if you allow them to. This is where the 4 T's come into play, especially with the 4 P's. And having system, order, and structure, having standards and principles that help safeguard you from these people who will create mold and rot within your spirit. And that is one of the guaranteed ways of a slow death. The last part, it said they will shamelessly grow on your ovaries and nuts if you give the permission as you get closer to greatness, achieving greatness. You know those Johnny or Jane come latelys, the ones that doubted you, and all of a sudden when you are close or you achieve what you meant to achieve, now said, I knew you can do it. Yeah, I know. That's why you got nosebleed seats. Or if you want to be a real asshole, you don't have to publicize it. You can give them courtside seats. But just understand, they weren't built to get in the game. They're too busy watching you do your thing instead of doing theirs. That's why when it comes to my peers, I salute them. I support them. I want to see them grow. Because if I'm surrounded by 5 millionaires, I know for damn sure I'm the next. Again, it's all about allowing yourself to be freed from being a prisoner of perspective. This is why you got to use your judgment in order to safeguard you on your way to success, help you navigate the obstacles set to come, especially when they know where your weaknesses are. Now, in closing, you already know what it is. I'm proud of you guys from getting this far. I want to see my peers grow. If you're out there doing your thing, even if it's a minute inch gained, I salute you for that. But we have a lot more work to do. And this channel is not going to be here worrying about the abusings of people who could give a damn about me, people who want to dismiss what I'm on, people who are blackmail obstructionists, people who are out here clout chasing, pocket watching, being these Tinder dicks, everything under the sun that isn't worthwhile. Don't care. Heard most of it all before, and most of the times it isn't creative. So while I'm growing, you notice that shadow gets longer because it still needs your light. Certain things and certain people you need to leave behind. But more importantly, you got to shine that light within yourself. Be that lighthouse of progression and lead yourself out of the darkness before you can become a leader of others. This is what I'm learning slowly but surely. But with each step forward, I'm becoming that much better, becoming that much stronger. And this is why I encourage for my peers, especially the ones who aren't there yet, keep moving. Because I already know as a black man, we don't hear that too often. We hear all these bad and disgusting things that we are or what we aren't. But I'm going to let you know everything that your reflection isn't telling you. Because you have that arrested sense of indoctrination set upon you by people who are terrified of you realizing your greatest potential. And do understand I'm not even close to where I need to be. But I already know I'm scaring the shit out of people. You should too. Show no shame in it. With that, salute to you guys. Simplify. Let's kick ass and take names. Oh, and Jonathan, I meant what I said. It always takes a pussy to expose and control one. Stop popping your wallet out there. Peace.